mention, the sequester and the changes to the budget. Britt Hume was on O'Reilly last night and was making an interesting point about how different a tone this president struck versus what Britt has experienced in his history covering Washington and the White House. Listen here.
President Obama's behavior in this business about the automatic budget cuts, this is some of the most peculiar behavior I've ever seen by a president. I mean, a normal president would be trying to reassure the public that this, after all, is not a large sum of money compared to the budget overall.
And then he went on, we apologize because that got cut short, to explain that, but this president is out there trying to sort of scare people, trying to say, like, the sky is falling, the sky is falling.
Well, may I note first how wonderful it is to get to work with somebody like Britt Hume, who can use the phrase "normal president," and it's got some credibility. He's covered, known, and dealt with enough of them in his career that he knows what constitutes normalcy in that very rarefied universe. But for President Obama, this is a big gamble that he's making. This relates to his permanent campaign that he is funding with these huge donations that they're seeking from people who want access, we assume, to the president. This has to do with his constant warfare with Republicans. This has to do with constant effort to seek total victory. The question is, does he have enough, if you'll pardon me, gas in the tank to get where he's going, or will voters eventually tire of scary stuff, and will voters eventually tire of gridlock and just tune him out? Because at some point between now and the end of his term, he will become a lame duck. It happens to the best of them, and the question is he accelerating the moment at which he becomes a lame duck and somewhat irrelevant?
He really has not had a credibility problem with the American people. Obviously, a lot of folks on the right don't feel that way, but in general, he hasn't really had a credibility problem with the American people. But he expended a lot of capital in the build-up to try to avoid these spending changes that he signed into law. And there's a real question, given those numbers, Chris, about whether people are starting to doubt him. They're starting to doubt whether they're getting the straight scoop.
You got it. And the real fight is just beginning now, which is over the continuing resolution to fund the government. Current one expires on the 27th of March. That is the real fight that's coming. Will the president have more or less credibility in that fight after his sequester scare stuff? I would say less.
We'll watch it. We'll see these.